Hey there, it's Seth, and I have another video for you today to help you find a little more ease in your body by using self-touch, by using the power of your own hands to touch. And in particular, you're going to be working today with the feet. So just for a moment, let's take a look at a skeletal foot, and don't need to worry about details, just admire the overall organization here. There are 26 bones in your foot, and as you can see, there's many spaces in between the bones. There's over 30 joints. There's a lot going on inside your foot, which usually lives inside your shoes if you're typical modern human. So waking up the foot has incredible benefit to it. And just in particular what I want to show you, because you're going to be doing something that involves working with the toes, but everything you do here in all of these processes around self-touch, it's not the movements so much as the sensation that can come with the movements and your ability to really listen inside and feel what's happening. So you'll be touching your toes, but if you can really think that when I'm touching this toe, I'm reaching all the way into the foot, even back into the ankle and the heel, that will really be helpful for you. So that's the main thing I just wanted to show you here. And again, don't worry so much about the movements. Don't take this series of movements as a prescription, but rather as an opportunity to connect with yourself and listen to your own body in a new way. And if you take that approach, I think you'll have a really good result. Just quickly, you could be sitting on the floor to do this, or you could sit in a chair and maybe cross one leg over the other. You just want to be in any position where you can easily touch your foot with your hands, and there'll be a few opportunities as you go through the process to pause and rest. At that point, you can rest lying on the floor if you are on the floor, or you can just sit in your chair, take a little breather. All right, let's get into it. Start in any position where it would be easy for you to touch your feet with your hands, but don't touch in the beginning. Just take a moment to look at your foot, and at the same time, think about making your hands very soft. And then feel how you move your whole body, your hips, your spine, your head moving through space as you bring your hands to rest on the foot that you're going to work with. You can work with either foot to begin, and if you like, you can repeat the process later on the other side. Just rest your hands on your feet here and breathe in the beginning. Just feeling that your hands are soft and feeling the communication between your hands and your feet. And now, with either hand, grab a hold of the pinky toe and just gently move it a little bit towards the bottom of your foot and then a little towards the top of your foot. Make the movements smaller than what you could do. You're just testing the directions that the toe goes. You're not trying to move it as far as you can. And then move the little toe a little away from its neighboring toe and a little towards the next toe. And then move to the fourth toe and do the same kind of thing. Move it a little towards the top of the foot, a little underneath, and a little bit to each side. As you make these movements, you're trying to feel the difference between one direction and the other. So you can move to your third toe now and do these basic directions, but see if you can sense, if you make the movement very small, is your toe happier moving, for example, above the foot or below the foot? Which direction do you encounter some tiny feeling of resistance earlier on in the movement? Go to the second toe now. Again, try to think that you're not trying to stretch your toes or to manipulate your toes or force your toes to do something. You're just proceeding with a sense of curiosity. And now move to your big toe and move it in each of these directions gently. See if you can become aware of your breathing as you do this. And once you've moved your big toe a little bit, take your hand away. And you can just rest for a moment in any position you like. If you're on the floor, you could even lie all the way down. But just take a moment to see what feels different on the foot that you were touching compared to the other. And now return to the position that you've been working in. And once again, grab a hold of your pinky toe. Hold it from the front. It's like you have maybe two fingers, maybe your thumb and your index finger, and one is below and one is above, touching the nail and the pad of the toe. And if you like, you can use your other hand to hold your foot somewhere further back behind the toes. And now gently lengthen your pinky toe as if you're moving it away from your heel. Once again, don't try to pull it as much as you possibly can. Just lengthen it a little bit and then let go. And then the next time you lengthen the toe, just gently spin it a little bit, as if it was a cork that you were taking out of a wine bottle. And again, let it go, and then lengthen it again and spin it a little bit in the other direction. And as you were doing before, as you lengthen the toe and turn it once to the inside and once to the outside, see if you can feel whether your toe moves more easily in one of those two directions. After a few movements, move on to your fourth toe. Begin by just gently lengthening the toe, again, away from the body of the foot a little bit, and then lengthening and turning the toe one way, turning the toe the other way. Again, trying to sense not how far you can take the toe, but if you use minimal effort, if the toe is more yielding in one direction compared to the other. Move on to the middle toe now, the same process. And as you're doing this, see if you can really soften your second hand, the one that's not holding the toes. You could have the other hand again, maybe under the arch of the foot. And see as you lengthen the toes and turn the toes, can you feel how you're pulling along a chain that reaches back deeper into your foot? Can you feel those little movements with your other hand? Move on to the second toe now, lengthening the toe, gently turning it a little to the inside, a little to the outside. And are you noticing a pattern? Do you find that most of your toes would rather turn in the same direction? Or does something different happen depending on which toe you're touching? We live with our toes generally inside shoes most of the time, and lots of different things can happen over the years, so you might have a very unique pattern in your foot compared to another person. Go to the big toe now, lengthening, turning a little to the inside, turning a little to the outside. And once you've made a few movements like this, again, stop, rest, and just feel the sensation of the foot you've been working with as well as the other foot. And take a moment also to notice if any differences between your left and right foot, if they're spread a little more into the whole length of one leg. You might feel a difference in one hip joint. If you turn your head side to side or roll it if you're lying on the floor, you might be surprised to even notice some difference in the two sides of your neck that feels connected to what you've been doing with your feet. Okay, so just one more simple thing that you can do with the same foot, but again, you can go back to the second foot later. Come to the place where you can reach your feet. And now use both hands. Grab hold of your pinky toe with the one hand and then the fourth toe with the next, and very slowly move the toes away from each other. So you're opening the space between the toes. Again, don't force, but just pull them a little apart and bring them back together. And when you bring them back together, you can sort of push the inner edge of the toes together and then open them again. And then as you bring them together again, maybe you could just momentarily lift one toe and have the other one go down so that you could touch the bottom of one toe to the toenail of the other toe. And then take the toes apart, and the next time put the other toe on top. And then hold the fourth and the third toes and go through the same process. Moving the toes a little apart and then placing one toe on top of the other, one at a time. And just keep going through the rest of the toes of your foot like this. But once again, see if you can make your attention spread out beyond your foot. So you can see how these little movements of the toes, they have their echoes through the entire foot. Maybe you feel small sensations of things happening in your ankle as you do this. Maybe further up into your leg. Once you've gone all the way through your toes like this, go ahead and take one final rest, and one last time sense the difference not only between your 2 feet, but the whole left side and right side of your body. And then come up to stand. And just notice in your standing how each of your feet connects to the floor. Notice if you seem to have brought your weight more over one leg. And then as you walk, notice the difference in how you feel connected to the floor as you step on the left foot and as you step on the right foot. But notice if that change, if that difference isn't reflected only on the sole of your foot, but in terms of how you feel supported all the way through your leg, through your hip joints, and up through your spine as you walk. And of course, as has been said before, if you like, you can take some time now to repeat the same process with your other foot, or you can just continue to enjoy the difference that you feel right now and continue to explore other activities so you can continue to sense how this brief process of touching and growing more awareness of one foot is reflected in other things that you do. Thanks for giving this a try, and once again, if you'd like more information about working in this way to find more ease in your movement, take a look at the caption of the video. You'll find how you can get a free 3-part training and how you can contact me if you would like to explore further.